Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, let's talk a little bit about the Nissan Juke, and maybe not the world's greatest thing to talk about, at least what we're going to talk about at the end of this little conversation. First off, this vehicle is polarizing. You either love it or you hate it, or you're somewhere in the middle like me, just because the vehicle looks a little bit funky, but all I've ever read or seen in video-wise as far as reviews says the vehicle is an absolute hoot to drive. And I never really cared for this thing until, remember that Juke-R, that GTR drivetrain one? They were selling for like $500,000. That was a pretty cool piece of kit. But a lot of different rumors from a lot of different outlets continue to hound on that Nissan may be phasing out this machine over the next year or so, meaning this vehicle will be no more very soon. Now, this has yet to be made official by Nissan as of yet. We'll definitely keep you in tune if that's exactly what's going to happen. Next up on the list, stop me if you've heard this before, Subaru BRZ STI. Yes, this photograph was shown off on Subaru's official Twitter account just a day or so ago of a carbon fiber STI wing on the back of a Subaru BRZ with just a cryptic message that basically just had a date. June 8th of 2017, where there will be more to talk about. Now that's not too very far away, a little over a week away from the taping of this program, so hopefully there's a really hot rod version of the BRZ coming soon, even though a lot of outlets are already talking about this vehicle. The new STI version will be official STI. It's just basically going to get some aero work, some brake, wheel and tire work, along with some suspension work. But the 2-liter, normally aspirated flat 4, will continue to remain just that at right around 200 horsepower, which a lot of folks have been clamoring for a more powerful version of this deal. So we'll have to wait and see. A little over a week, we'll know something for sure. Next up on the list, another Japanese hot rod coming from the folks over at Honda, the Civic Type R. Now, we've talked about European pricing on this machine, but yet have talked about pricing for North America. Well, a bunch of these Civic Type Rs are apparently sitting at the port waiting to go to U.S. showrooms, and someone hopped the fence and took a photograph of the window sticker of one of these machines and posted on civicx.com to their forum page. Now, I have to say, the photograph looks pretty legit and shows a starting price for the non-touring version of $34,775 US. Again, Honda is yet to make this official, but we'll definitely keep you in tune if we hear any more about this. Next up on the list, we'll be on clamoring for information about Mercedes-Benz AMG Project 1, that hypercar that they're talking about building with the modern-day Formula One drivetrain. And that drivetrain is now here for us to glory upon, and it shows off a lot of interesting details, including the front end of the machine will be all electric with lithium-ion batteries and 2 electric engines up front. We're assuming there's going to be some torque vectoring up front. Inboard suspension as well in the front of the machine. Out back, the 1.6-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder. They'll also have an electric turbocharger, along with the intercooler system, the KERS system out back, and another electric engine out back as well. Inboard suspension for the rear of this vehicle as well, with a lot of high-tech componentry as far as this vehicle is concerned. You can think about that super sexy bodywork that was shown off in concept form that we'll get to see hopefully very soon in final production version. We'll have to wait and see on a little bit more information, but if you want to see this photograph in all its glory, it's up on the Motor Cars Enthusiast Facebook page right now. You can check it out over there and drool over all this drivetrain goodness. Last up on the list, let's talk a little bit about the Focus RS, because this is a two-pronged story, one a little bit on the personal side, at least for me. First, we're going to talk about the limited edition RS, which will be coming very soon. In fact, they're only going to build 1,500 units $500 for Canada, and $1,000 for the United States. And you get a lot of limited edition goodness in this vehicle. Think of all the extra option goodness that would coming on the standard Focus RS, or at least that you could get in option form, will become standard equipment on this vehicle, including a lot of carbon fiber goodies on the inside of the vehicle. It's got a lot of blacked out treatment on the exterior of the vehicle, including blacked out roof, rear spoiler, and the mirrors themselves. Obviously, from this photograph, you can tell there's at least 2 brand new colors. 1 brand new blue, and 2, for the first time ever on an RS, red colors that are going to be available on this machine. And as far as the performance side of things, it does get a brand new limited slip front differential, which a lot of folks in RS forums have been clamoring about for years, that they wanted this thing to get that limited slip front differential. Now, the trick is there's only going to be 1,500 of these. And when I found this particular article, it was on a European website, and the first line of the article said this was going to be the swan song for the RS in North America, which instantly got me thinking, apparently I don't know what swan song means, because if it means what I think it means, and then as I read on later in the article, it kind of reiterated it, and then I started hunting the interwebs trying to figure out something. Is the RS going away in the North American market? Contacted a buddy of mine who's actually a big Ford guy. He's owned several modern-day classic Ford Mustangs, including a Mach 1, California Special, GT500. And he said, I read the same article you did, and I'm kind of surprised myself. I found myself to be absolutely devastated at this particular news, which is weird because I have no real affiliation to the old RS. I've never driven the car. I photographed the car a handful of times, but never really thought much of this. In fact, finally found another article that reiterated this. A magazine from here in the United States talked about this was going to be the end of the line for this car. I just found myself down in the dumps, just absolutely gutted, devastated that this deal took place. It was a weird situation indeed. I couldn't believe I was having this feeling. If you've watched this show enough, you see I'm kind of passionate about automobiles, but I never felt this way about an automobile. It's kind of strange to have this kind of feelings about this particular car. So it's going to be sad to see this thing go. You think about all those old Gran Turismo days we had when we were younger. Focus RS we never had here in the United States. The Type R we never had. GT-R, the STI version of the WRX, the Evolution. A lot of those cars you get to drive in Gran Turismo that you never got, and we've got them all now. At least some of them, at least in certain trims. And to think that the RS is going to go away, the hottest version of the RS ever made, is pretty doggone sad if you ask me. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.